My name is Ben Rineker, and this is The Umbrella, an exploration into creating trans-inclusive and affirming public space. The umbrella has been envisioned as a place of community for everyone, but in particular, to be inclusive and affirming of folks of transgender experiences. It is a place where being trans is normal, a place beyond gender. Let's take a look at the background research. It's important to understand that gender is experienced as a spectrum. Trans or transgender is a broad term for various gender identities, some of which are woman, man, trans woman, trans man, trans, non-binary, or gender fluid, to name a few. Cisgender is where a person's gender aligns with the sex with which they were born. Cisnormativity is the false sense that there are only two genders. In our American culture and society today, trans and gender nonconforming folks are seen as a threat, as a challenge to cisnormativity. Key issues from the research are the highly publicized bathroom issue, where trans people can't safely use a public restroom. Healthcare avoidance and barriers, where trans people avoid emergency rooms, even regular doctor visits, because healthcare providers in general don't know how or don't care to know how to help them. Trans youth need special support because they experience disproportionate rates of homelessness, family rejection, and poor mental health. And in a survey of trans college students, they acknowledged the need for trans-specific spaces, while also being a part of the broader lesbian, gay, and bisexual communities, the wider queer community. The solution is akin to universal design, spaces for all people, not spaces segregated by gender. These include safe public restrooms for everyone, not gender segregated, specialized affirming healthcare, and support spaces and programs for trans youth and students of all ages. The umbrella is a place where trans normativity is out in the open, where being a trans person in public is normal. The selected site is in Baltimore City, among the established and new lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer, or LGBTQ, neighborhoods in the center of the city. A long list of criteria was developed to select the site. The three most important criteria were: number 1, to be close to transit; number 2, close to existing resources for the LGBTQ community; and number 3, close to specific resources for the trans community. The site is in the Mount Vernon neighborhood, located in a transit-oriented development zone, which means less restrictions typically, to help create denser developments around transit stops. At the corner of Monument and Howard Streets, right by the Center Street station on the Baltimore Light Rail line, looking southeast, we see Mount Vernon and downtown Baltimore. And the Maryland Historical Trust occupies the remainder of the block in which the site is located. Across the street is a renovated 4-story building which has first-floor retail and public storage in it. The existing site contains a parking lot and an historic mercantile building, which is in poor condition. The light rail station is right in front of where the new main entrance will be. Why call it the umbrella? The answer is twofold. First, it references the idea that trans is a broad term, an umbrella term. covering multiple gender identities. And secondly, an umbrella, the object, provides a tangible analogy. As an umbrella protects from the rain and the sun, the umbrella provides refuge and sanctuary, safety from an unaccepting outside world, where the life expectancy of a trans woman of color is only 35 years. 4 main zones compose the program. 1. The social hub. 2. The clinic. 3. The academy. And 4. The sanctuary. These will be connected through each zone's lobby or reception area. And as you see on the slide, each zone has multiple subregions. A tripartite form has a wedge carved out from the center. Public spaces, in this case for everyone, are concentrated around the street level, and private spaces, trans-specific areas, are primarily above street level. The hub is the public zone. The clinic has a connection at street level. The academy is located above the clinic, with the sanctuary at the top. The sanctuary is composed of 2 pieces, the housing and the reflection area. The proposed building is shown here in the context of the local area. On Howard Street, where the light rail tracks are also located, there are 2 points of access to the building. The main entrance provides access through the hub, and to the south is the access point to the clinic. On Monument Street, there is 1 access to the building, the secondary access to the hub. 3 elevator shafts provide access and primary access to all levels of the building. Seen in the section on the right side, the elevator to the right is primarily for the hub, and the 2 elevators across the lobby, best seen in the section on the left side, are primarily for the rest of the program zones in the building. Now we'll take a look at the drawings. Note that the program zone colors permeate the orthographic drawings. First, we'll examine the building in section. Here we see the theater, a place for performance, the main lobby, and the central gallery. The galleries are the places for presentation. These pieces fit together like Tetris pieces. The gallery flows down into the lobby. On the lower level, the bar and lounge are a pre-function area for the theater. In this section, we see that the chapel is located at the top of the building. The chapel is part of the cloisters subzone of the sanctuary zone. And here in this section, we can see the bridge connects the 2 sides of the building on the 6th level, part of the sanctuary zone. At street level, we can see that the theater lounge and the North Gallery are connected. North Gallery overlooks the lounge. And in our last section, the main lobby is at street level. It is the base of the rest of the lobbies and reception areas above. In the basement is the bar lobby, Then at street level, again, is the main lobby, providing the primary entrance to the whole building. At the street level, the clinic has intake and triage areas on the south side of the building. The majority of this level is for the social hub zone. The main floor of the theater is below ground, with the lower level lobby, bar and lounge area, and service areas for the building or for the social hub. Then we take the elevators up to the galleries on the second floor. A sculpture exhibition is on in the central gallery. In the corner of the building are the offices for the center. On the south side of the building is the clinic emergency department. On the third floor of the clinic, composed of the medical clinic and the mental health clinic. On level 4 is the academy, with space for youth support, maker spaces for youth and adults, as well as training rooms and classrooms. Emergency housing is located on 5 South, with long-term studio apartments located on 5 North, first level of the sanctuary zone. The second half of the sanctuary zone is at the top, on the 6th level, the refuge. This portion of the sanctuary zone, the cloisters. Here is a space for reflection and meaningful gathering. A walking loop, akin to the labyrinth, connects the chapel and the meditation rooms. A meditation garden wraps around 3 sides of the building and doubles as a buffer. And here we see the building from above. From this bird's eye view, we can see the cloisters are perched atop the building. The grayscale elevations show the openness of the various facades, and the colorful illustrated facades bring some more life to the elevations. The west elevation is the primary face. The hub is primarily glazed, with the upper levels, while still very open, affording a measure of privacy. The secondary entrance is on the north face. The stair tower at the corner is fully glazed, providing visibility and views from each level. The south face has the back of house access, and the east face is adjacent to a neighboring building. In the center of the east face, we can see the terraces that create a multi-level courtyard. Let's take a look at the 3D renderings. Here, the clinic entrance is front and center at the south corner of the building, across from the transit stop. The main entrance faces Howard Street and is on the center axis of the building. On the lower level is the largest open gathering space, the theater, lounge, bar, and restrooms. These restrooms are not the typical design. Upon entering the restroom zone is a partially shielded area to lounge or rest. Individual toilet rooms are provided to either side of this lounge area, and the sinks are tucked in the back to afford some privacy for washing and grooming. Here we see the lower level bar and lounge. And the restrooms are in the background. This rest and relief area, the shielded lounge, toilet rooms, and sink zone are seamlessly connected to the bar and lounge. Right next door, in the theater, a ball is in progress. Ball culture is an important part of trans and queer culture, particularly for trans or queer people of color. It's fashion, dance, camp, and realness. Here the folks on the runway are competing in the Femme Queen Realness category. Judges from the community evaluate if they could pass as a real woman. In other words, if they could blend in with cisgender women. Balls are a big party and a safe place where trans folks can be their true selves. They can be seen and respected. Here the crowd is cheering on the contestants as they strut their stuff. Next we move upstairs to the Street Cafe, which is right at the corner of Monument and Howard. There is a coffee and a lunch counter, and the cafe flows into the lobby. If we take those stairs up to the second level, we find ourselves in the central gallery where the sculptures are currently on exhibit. The three galleries on this level, the central, the art, and the north, are where trans folk can share their stories through art or other presentations. But ultimately, these gallery spaces are to be adaptable, multi-purpose spaces. Sanctuary, refuge, peace. From the east side of the building, the partial void reveals a series of terraces cascading down the center of the building. From the third floor terrace garden, we see the meditation rooms located at the top of the building. From the sixth level bridge on the cloisters level, we look down on the terraces. Standing in the lobby of the cloisters, your eye is drawn upwards by the high ceilings and the floating ceiling planes. Looking at the level 6 floor plan, we saw a view of the cloisters elevator lobby. We also looked down from the bridge onto the terraces. And next we will take a peek inside the chapel, where we see a wedding is in progress. Somebody's about to get married. The umbrella, inclusive, affirming, for humans of all gender expressions.